Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Curse of Oak Island bringing in equipment to drain garden shaft. The Curse of Oak Island is gearing up for something huge in the next season. People have noticed some massive equipment moving onto the island. One prominent theory is that the team plans to drain the garden shaft. Here is what you need to know about the new season of the Curse of Oak Island. Is the Curse of Oak Island planning to drain the swamp? It was reported on Wednesday that a convoy of equipment, along with some tractor-trailers and dump trucks, was taken to Oak Island. A big project is coming, and it is almost surely part of the next season of the popular reality. The news was accompanied by many photographs on the Facebook page for Oak Island from the other side of the causeway. Other photos showed what looked like work getting ready to start on the garden shaft. The company bringing the equipment is Soltench Baki Canada, a construction company that provides innovative geotechnical solutions. On Wednesday, they moved their equipment to Oak Island throughout the day. They also brought in a lot of pumping equipment, which makes it look like they are about to drain the garden shaft. This news could be significant because the Curse of Oak Island spent a lot of time in the last 2 seasons sending down cameras and exploring what was underground from a distance. What is under the garden shaft on the Curse of Oak Island? The Curse of Oak Island team found what they thought might be a cavern that might contain the presumed buried treasure. Now, they need to get down there. All this equipment could be used to drain the swamp. With it, they could find out what is under there to get closer to the mythical treasure. They discovered a cavern they named Aladdin's Cage in the Money Pit area. However, they couldn't see much due to the murky water. This means they might want to drain the swamp to get a better look. On Thursday, the same Facebook page showed that the equipment was indeed in the Money Pit area. It looks like the team is ready to see what is under there. Bringing in the new company could help. One thing that has thrown off the team before is the booby traps and difficulty reaching some of these underground areas. It sounds like Soltench Baki Canada could be there to finally break through and find out the secrets underneath the island. The Curse of Oak Island is supposed to return to History Channel in November 2024 for Season 12. The Curse of Oak Island had always been shrouded in mystery. The very name evoked images of hidden treasures, ancient maps, and cursed gold buried deep beneath the earth. Over the years, many had tried to unlock its secrets, but the island had guarded them fiercely, as if it were alive, refusing to reveal what lay beneath its rugged surface. Now, as the crisp autumn wind swept through the towering pines, the latest team of treasure hunters was on the verge of attempting something never done before, draining the garden shaft. The garden shaft was a curious anomaly, located in a quiet corner of the island, away from the infamous Money Pit and other sites of excavation. It was a dark, narrow passage that delved into the earth, seemingly leading nowhere. But the legend surrounding the garden shaft was as enigmatic as the island itself. Some believed it was connected to the intricate network of tunnels that crisscrossed beneath the island, while others whispered of a terrible curse that would befall anyone who dared to disturb it. The team had spent weeks studying old maps, deciphering cryptic messages, and consulting with historians. All signs pointed to the garden shaft being a critical piece of the puzzle, a potential hiding place for the elusive treasure. But there was a problem. The shaft was flooded, its murky waters concealing whatever lay at the bottom. Draining it was no small feat, but the team was determined, driven by the tantalizing possibility of finally uncovering the island's greatest secret. It was early morning when the heavy machinery arrived. The air was thick with anticipation as the crew unloaded the equipment, massive pumps, hoses, and generators capable of draining thousands of gallons of water. The team gathered around, a mix of seasoned treasure hunters and eager newcomers, their eyes fixed on the garden shaft. Rick and Marty Lagina, the brothers who had dedicated years of their lives to unraveling the mysteries of Oak Island, stood at the forefront. They exchanged a look of determination. This was it. Another step closer to either vindication or disappointment, but they had come too far to turn back now. "Let's get to work," Rick said, his voice steady but laced with excitement. The crew sprang into action, connecting hoses and firing up the pumps. The roar of the machinery filled the air, drowning out the rustling of the leaves and the distant cries of seabirds. As the water began to be sucked from the shaft, The atmosphere grew tense. The murky depths slowly receded, revealing the jagged walls of the ancient tunnel. Every inch revealed felt like peeling back a layer of the island's history, inching closer to whatever secrets it held. But as the water level dropped, something strange began to happen. The ground around the shaft started to tremble, ever so slightly at first, then with increasing intensity. The crew exchanged uneasy glances. Was this the curse the legend spoke of? "Shut it down," Marty shouted, but it was too late. A low, ominous rumble echoed from deep within the earth, reverberating through the island. The ground gave a violent shudder, and a plume of dark, foul-smelling gas erupted from the mouth of the shaft, sending the crew scrambling back in alarm. The machinery ground to a halt, and an eerie silence fell over the island. The garden shaft, now partially drained, lay exposed, its dark maw gaping like an open wound in the earth. But there was no gold, no glittering jewels, only the oppressive, foreboding sense that they had disturbed something ancient and malevolent. Rick and Marty approached the edge of the shaft cautiously, peering down into the darkness. The water had receded enough to reveal a wooden platform at the bottom, rotted and barely holding together. But there was something else. A series of strange markings on the walls, symbols carved into the stone that none of them recognized. "What do you think it means?" Marty asked, his voice barely above a whisper. "I don't know," Rick replied, his eyes fixed on the markings. "But I think we're about to find out." The rest of the crew gathered around, their faces pale and tense. The thrill of the hunt had been replaced by a gnawing fear. Whatever lay at the bottom of the garden shaft was no mere treasure. It was something far older, something that had been hidden away for centuries, perhaps for a good reason. One of the historians, a wiry man named Dr. Blackwood, stepped forward, his face a mask of intense concentration. He ran his fingers over the symbols, tracing the lines with a practiced hand. "These are not just random carvings," he said finally. "They're part of an ancient script, one that predates most known languages. It's a warning." "A warning?" Marty echoed. "What kind of warning?" Dr. Blackwood hesitated, as if weighing his words carefully. "A warning to those who seek the treasure. It speaks of a curse, a powerful one that will befall anyone who tries to claim what lies beneath." The crew exchanged uneasy glances. They had heard stories of the Oak Island curse, tales of lives lost and fortunes ruined in the quest for the treasure. But until now, it had always seemed like a distant, almost mythical threat. Now, standing at the edge of the garden shaft, it felt all too real. "We need to proceed with caution," Rick said, his voice steady but filled with resolve. "Whatever's down there, we're not turning back now." The crew resumed their work, but the atmosphere had changed. The excitement of the hunt was tempered by a growing sense of dread. As the pumps whirred back to life, draining the last of the water, the ground beneath them continued to tremble, as if the island itself was protesting their intrusion. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, the garden shaft was fully drained. The wooden platform lay exposed at the bottom, and beyond it, a dark tunnel stretched into the earth, its walls slick with centuries of moisture. The crew gathered around, peering down into the darkness. "Who's going first?" Marty asked, trying to inject a note of humor into the tense situation. Rick stepped forward, his face set in determination. "I'll go." As Rick descended into the shaft, the weight of the island's history pressed down on him. This was it, the moment they had been working towards for years. But as he reached the bottom and set foot on the ancient platform, he couldn't shake the feeling that they had crossed a line, disturbed something that was never meant to be found. The tunnel loomed before him, dark and foreboding, its secrets hidden just out of reach. And as he took a deep breath and stepped forward, the weight of the curse settled over him like a shroud, a silent reminder that some mysteries are better left unsolved.